How's it going, everyone? Beer League Rebound coming back at you with episode 7 now. Holy, episode 7. Time is flying by when you're having fun. Ain't that right, folks? Glad that the last episode did well. I haven't been getting as much viewerships as the other episodes, but I've been where I'm not getting as much viewerships. I can notice my podcast is expanding worldwide now, I can say. So, whoever in Switzerland is listening, shout out to you. Unreal. I can't believe there's someone over there listening to my podcast. I don't know if they're a consistent listener, but the fact that I was able to pull up the stats today. I also saw in the States, I've made it across like a bunch of other areas in the States too. So shout out to you guys out there. That's awesome. Starting this fun passion project, if you want to say, I wasn't sure what to expect out of everything, to be honest, but it's crazy the amount of support I've been getting. My Facebook page, Beer League Rebound, has over 100 page likes already. That's huge. So thank you to everyone who is able to go on the page and like. I got to start working on my other accounts, building up that following and everything else. So that's going to come, within time and everything. But I just want to say thank you to all for supporting. Now, on to some exciting news about the podcast. I have also upgraded to, if you want to say, semi-professional microphone, whatever you want to say. I bought a microphone. The Apple wired headphones, they were doing a good job, but they started to, I don't know if any of you were able to tell, they kind of had like a raspy noise from it. Maybe it's my voice, maybe it's the microphone's just, being old, but now, invested some money into this podcast with this microphone. So I want to know what you guys think about the quality of it. I absolutely love it. I love the idea of having cords hanging around and I can talk from a range and it sounds good. So let me know what you guys think. But we also have an interview on this podcast as well. My good friend Josh Smith joined us. His interview, unfortunately, wasn't with the new mic, so it might still have that weird raspy noise. But next couple of interviews will be with the microphone, and we have some good interviews lined up. We're talking good interviews here, folks. But yeah, if we had Josh come on, Josh was great to have on. If some of you don't know who Josh Smith is, like I said, good friend of mine. He did the whole jungle junior career is what I like to put it. And what I mean by that is, playing in leagues that people don't know of, but, keeping the dream alive. And he got so many chances to go. Like, he got to play in Alberta, Montana, Wyoming, a couple other places in the States within his league, and he got to go to Ontario. So look forward to that this episode. Him giving his perspective of junior hockey, talking about it, the lifestyle of it. I'm a big fan of junior hockey. I never did the junior hockey route. I personally would have probably got cut from C, if I'm being honest. But I love junior hockey. I love the stories that come from it. It gives such a nice vibe and new perspective on the game, especially not from someone who's a professional, right? Just, an average person. So look forward to that with Josh. Now we're going to dive into some NHL talk. And by NHL talk, I mean, will the NHL start? And I want to say yes and no. So there's been some good news coming out, though, about the NHL, how do I want to put this? Looking forward into, starting the season again. Well, not again. Finishing the rest of the regular season and going to playoffs. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So, yeah, they want to finish regular season off and go into playoffs. There's been tons of crazy ideas, as I've mentioned, of stuff that they're looking at doing. And that's still not far-fetched in my opinion. It's kind of crazy with everything they have going on. But let's talk about it. So the big thing though that the NHL came out with is, regardless of what team you're part of, the NHL facilities will not open up until everyone can safely go and open up. So what I mean by this is the NHL has like a phase plan, like, with the rest of, like, the world's doing, step-by-step process they're working on. So Alberta government has, we're doing our phase 1 here soon. NHL is looking forward to going to their phase 2, and that phase 2 is NHL facilities opening up for small workouts with the groups, which is smart because, these guys have been relying off of home workouts or whatever else, and they need that bond again to get back with the guys, get the ball rolling. So we can look forward to some of that happening here. Hopefully, they're predicting by phase 2 by the end of May, if everything goes as planned. Can't stress that enough. Everything has to go as planned for this to happen. So phase 2 is looking promising, but we can't guarantee anything, which I think we all know going through this whole COVID situation, nothing's guaranteed. So, on to that though, there we have, so that this, what was it? 11 to 14 teams have submitted bids for potential quarantine cities to host, the rest of the regular season and playoffs. So 11 to 14 have submitted their bids. We have, as far as I've seen, 3 Canadian cities: Vancouver, Edmonton, and Toronto. I think in the Edmonton one, from what I've been reading, it sounds like that ball is rolling really well. Alberta has a phenomenal doctor, Dr. Hinshaw, who's been working with the Edmonton Oilers organization, Alberta Health Services, and everything like that, on making sure we can get this season going. So we really can look forward to hopefully that happening. But the crazy thing is, Hinshaw came out saying as well, is if the NHL was to happen in Edmonton, and let's say worst case scenario, a player did catch COVID-19 during this time, Hinshaw believes that will not affect the NHL still moving forward with the rest of the regular season finishing and playoffs happening. They believe that if one person gets it, they just have to follow the proper requirements that anyone else would have to follow, and so be it. So basically, it's looking promising. Alberta Health Services and the Oilers have been working on this, as long as everywhere else that the NHL has been trying to, get the rest of this going. Nothing has been set in stone, as we know, but it's all been speculative throughout what's going to happen for us of, this season. I'm really looking forward to, seeing this phase 2 part. I think if we can get to phase 2, that's going to be a huge milestone for the NHL and the players. The only problem that the NHL, well, there's multiple problems. Like, there's still a lot of stuff that has to be figured out with everything going on. But the biggest situation I see happening right now is players being, as they put, in a bubble for 3 months and not being with their family. And we kind of talked about this in my last episode of Isaac. I understand where these players are coming from. So NHL is looking at ways they can work around that. Hinshaw is involved with that, all of Alberta Health Services. I don't know too much about the Toronto and Vancouver. They haven't really said much. They've just submitted. So every team had to submit a bid, a proposal of the proper requirements they're going to follow. And Ontario's premier, what was it? Ford? Yeah, Doug Ford spoke with the Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment, and they came out saying that they've been in contact, they're working on stuff, and that's it. They're not trying to get anyone's hopes up. They're really just trying to work on the logistics of this and seeing where we can go on from day by day. So, but folks, personally, I think we're heading in the right direction for hockey, making a comeback for at least the rest of this regular season and playoffs. I personally wouldn't be surprised if by July we're, sitting at home and having the sunshine out and watching some hockey. I wouldn't be surprised. They've been working on this, effort tirelessly throughout this whole process of trying to get everything back. If they are able to accommodate the players' families in that, I think that's great. I like the idea as well of the NHL facilities not opening up early for anyone else, for any other teams. So, like, for example, in Alberta, we don't have as a crazy amount of cases as some parts in the states have right now. So it's really good that they're taking the proper measures to keep it fair between the teams, so that everyone, no one's getting special favors, and you can't bring any of that up. So I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's for COVID hockey talk. That's really what we have going on right now in the league. It's, like I said, it's looking promising to have. So last Friday's when they had to submit their their proposals. 11 to 14 teams submitted for them to be a hub city, and we're gonna let it continue on from there. But the one interesting thing I do want to talk about as well with all this is what's going to happen with the draft. So they are talking. So the draft is supposed to happen at the end of June in Montreal, but as we all know, that will not happen. And they're talking about doing an early draft before even finishing the season. There's a lot of logistics that go into play with this, and there's a lot of hockey fans that are upset with this, and a lot are for it. I think the NFL, when they did their draft, that was a huge stepping stone for the NHL to look at something like that. The NFL draft went very well, very great viewership. They broke records and everything else. I think I talked about this before, but yeah, they did a great job with it, and I think the NHL's looking to follow those footsteps with their draft. Nothing, as I keep mentioning, has been set in stone on what's going to happen, but there should be an answer, they said, by the end of this week or possibly next week. So hopefully next week I'm talking about a draft date actually happening, but as of right now, they're all early June is what they're talking about. So that's going to wrap up quarantine hockey talk as usual. So I'm going to send it over to Josh Smith's interview. Like I said, great interview, great guy. You really get to learn a lot about, how much fun junior hockey is, and, all the, I would say, the training he still does to make sure he's still at the top of his game. It's awesome, especially in a time like this. Isaac and I talked about our last podcast. Training is everything right now, especially if you're still trying to make it somewhere next year, because I firmly believe that. Well, I'm hoping that hockey can happen in September for everyone. We'll see what happens and go from there. But regardless, you got to still be in that mindset of, wanting it. And Smith has that mindset right now. So I'm going to send over to Smith and enjoy that interview. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 7 of Beer League Rebound. For today's interview, we have junior jungle star Josh Smith with us. Josh has been playing for 18 years and played his last year of junior hockey in Ontario. He also went to go play in Alberta, Montana, and Wyoming throughout his career. I'd like to introduce to the show Josh Smith.
Hey, Bryce, thanks for having me. It's been in the works for a little bit.
It has been. I'm glad you're on, and we can talk a lot about your career and how it all took place. But how's your quarantine been?
Oh man, it's pretty different from any other off season I've had. Just kind of trying to make the best of my resources. Bought a $100 pair of rollerblades from Canadian Tire. So it's not the greatest off season, but I don't know. You gotta make do with what you got, I guess, for now.
Yeah, definitely. So you're part of like that blade gang going around, hey? Like just
Yeah, it's street ducks.
street
Got a group
ducks.
chat and everything, buddy.
That's awesome. So so for your training right now? Just are you constantly trying to be on the blades to simulate you being on ice right now, or like what's that all kind of working so you kind of have that feeling of ice underneath you, but with concrete?
You know what? It's strange, right? The green biscuit doesn't slide like it does on ice, like with a normal puck,
Yeah,
and you trip over rocks or sticks when you're kind of moving around, right? So you get a few more tumbles here and there, and a little more unpredictability. But I don't know, it's what we got, right? So
it's
got to
like
make the most of it.
playing on some crappy ice, if anything. Hey,
Oh yeah, ODR
oh,
ice
oh,
at best,
at best.
chewed up.
Definitely. So, when are you just strictly training for the summer? Are you going to be working for the summer? What's your kind of goal for this whole summer with everything going on?
Well, it's been completely flipped upside down, right?
Yep.
So kind of just taking it easy with disease going around and just hanging out at home for now, just seeing how it all unfolds, and hopefully it turns out for the better. Things start opening up and people stop being sick, so we can get the show on the road here.
I agree. I hope things can start, turn around for everyone and, nothing but positive energy for everyone moving forward. No more. I'm over this COVID stuff.
Oh, I agree completely. I want those driveway bonfires like we have in the summer.
Oh, so do I. That'd be so nice right now.
You betcha.
So we'll kind of start diving into your career. So, you've, like I mentioned, you played for 18 years. You've done 3 years of junior hockey. So you've done the junior hockey crawls, like lots of guys like to say. You've got to go around, North America for the most part, right? Playing a lot of cool places. What was that like? What was it like going to the States? What was it like going across Canada? Like, tell us what that was all like.
Yeah, so we might as well start my first season of junior, I guess. I got to play in Strathmore, Alberta. Really, really good group of guys, good fan base. It was a local small town team, so the support for us was everything, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so after that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna, try and do something with this. I had friends who ended up going overseas, and I don't know, they were older than me and everything, so I figured if they can, make a potential career out of it, why can't I, right? So kind of led me to go, venture into the States. And my good buddy, Nick Noel, he said he was heading down to Montana, and I decided, yeah, I'm going to pack my bags and come with you. So I was fortunate enough to have a buddy with me, my first time away from home, really.
Playing hockey and, getting that experience, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
And,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead there.
Well, I was just going to say, and then, so after Montana, we'll talk about your injury later on because I have that written down. But you got to go play in Ontario. What was Ontario like?
Yeah, it was all right, I guess. It was different. I didn't know a soul, didn't know anyone. Just kind of thrown right into it, right? I was sent to Northumberland by one of my friends who played there previously and went over to play in Sweden after. So I figured it was probably a good way to kind of put myself out there and everything. And yeah, so I went with it.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So, how do you pronounce the junior league you played in the States?
In the States, North American Tier 3 Hockey League.
Okay. So what
Yes.
was that competition like in the States, would you say, compared to like your Junior B Heritage League and your GMHL league in Ontario?
I would say the skill level was a bit better than like Heritage League. It wasn't the same level as Alberta Junior A,
Yeah.
but it was. I'd say it's like in between Heritage and the AJ. Depending on which teams, my D partner I played with is playing NCAA hockey right now. Other guys didn't really go anywhere, so it's a bit of a mixed bag, but you see a little bit higher skilled guys, other than obviously the guys coming from the WHL and playing for Thunder and just stacking that team, right? So
Yeah, no,
but
most definitely.
and then compared to the GMHL, man, that league is something else. You have guys who, for example, one of my teammates, he played a game in the KHL and played in a farm league team for them for a good part of a season and got paid quite a bit to do it. And then all of a sudden he ends up playing on my team. So I'm just absolutely shocked by that.
That
So you have guys who played in the OHL, the OJ, lots of Europeans in that league that are really talented. And then you have some guys who a little bit less skilled, I guess.
So that GMHL league, they're really good at it. Sounds like recruiting like outside of just Canada. Hey, like they're grasping at guys like all over the world. What makes these international guys want to come over, move their stuff over for a season?
You know what? It's so the way it works, it's like the Heritage League where you can play your 21 year versus other leagues where you can't.
Oh,
And so
okay.
that draws a lot of guys in, which it did with me because as we'll get into it later with my injury and everything.
Yep.
And it draws a lot of guys in to kind of get their name out there. For the guy I mentioned, he was also injured when he was playing in the farm team, and they wanted to see, how after going through surgery and stuff and all that. So he came to my team and he had a good year. I'm not too sure what he's doing now, but he said he wants to play in the States in a minor league team. So it's a way to get into North America, I
Definitely.
find that. And yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, also we'll kind of
Yeah.
dive into your injury a little bit here. So after your year in down in the States, you had to overcome a knee injury, which resulted in you taking a year off from playing junior hockey. How difficult was that? What did you do to get back onto the ice quickly, mentally and physically?
Yeah, so it all started my first game in Strathmore. Actually, we were up a few goals and someone took a liberty on me, blew my knee out, like complete knee on knee interference, and I ended up continuing to play on it for 2 years. My ACL was like a wet noodle in my knee, doing nothing. My MCL was all shredded, so I told myself I'm going to play till I can't walk, and I did that actually. My meniscus blew up a week before I was supposed to head out to the U.S.A. in Northern Ontario and play. And then, so had to take the year off for surgery and get the meniscus repaired and everything.
You
So it was tough overcoming that, like mentally, seeing all my friends, go to college teams, go play overseas and all that, right?
Yeah, you were lucky. You got into surgery pretty quickly because I know there's like usually a big wait list for that. Was it just reaching out to different doctors that helped you out, or like what helped you get a surgery like quicker than like what others were able to get?
Yeah, well, I'm very fortunate. My dad worked with the Calgary Flames for quite a few years. He ran the ice plant and everything, and he got to know everyone pretty well. And he met a doctor there who had connections everywhere, I guess. And it kind of holding on to that contact helped me. In the future, we were able to get a hold of him and get in right away and get everything taken care of.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you were able to. I remember you were able to get that surgery quickly, and then by the summertime, you were already on skates again, right?
Yeah, I actually did some coaching and what was it? I think I actually started coaching right away, but kind of off ice stuff, and then I moved into on ice stuff with Isaac,
Yeah, the
our good
double
buddy
A.
Isaac.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was able to start skating in December, so I took advantage of that. Release some energy I had on the bench and practice with the boys. And yeah, so I was able to kind of make a positive out of that, get some experience, learn how to be coachable.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
being around those, like, probably like younger guys and all that, being able to, they're able to look up to you, but in a way you're able to look up to them because you see what they're able to go through. You know that you can go through that in your next season, I imagine.
yeah, exactly. There was definitely a lot of takeaways from that, and it's you even know this from working in minor hockey. It's just you won't get that experience anywhere else, and it leads into life, like working,
Oh,
like school,
100%.
anything, right?
100%. Minor hockey's opened up my door so much more, and it's gotten me to appreciate hockey more than just like a playing aspect, but like everything else that goes into the game.
Yeah,
Truthfully.
exactly.
So after your last season, Ontario, that was kind of like a comeback season for you from your injury. You were able to have 7 goals that last season and 23 assists in 36 games. How important was it for you to finish on a high note that season?
You know what? It definitely was nice to be putting points up and all that, but I wanted to prove to myself that I can keep going at the same level that I was before, if not better. And I absolutely did that. Whether I would have been putting points up or not, it was definitely good to even get back on the ice and have my little last shot at everything. I guess one last dance
Yeah,
in the Chicago Bulls. Yeah,
you got to kind of get that closure of you know doing that whole hockey grind for so long, having to unfortunately take a year off, but managed to finish it off as a 21-year-old. So that's awesome.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
finish. So you playing in 3 leagues. What league was your favorite? And I'm not looking for like a team specific, but what league did you found was like ran the best out of any other leagues? Like which one were you like, this makes sense. I like this league just because of how simple it is. It's not complex.
Absolutely. Without a doubt in my mind, I would have to say the NA3.
Yep.
They were, that under U.S.A. hockey, they had lots of people that would go play NCAA Div 3. They'd move players up and down from the Nhl, which is like the AJ there.
Yep.
And it was just really, really well ran, like good refs and all that, right? So,
Yeah, definitely. And like, kind of getting that experience, in the States and all that probably really helped it out, And you also got traded when you were down in the States. What was that like?
you know what? It was, I we were a pretty stacked team in Helena, and they had an import rule, so you could only play 3 imports a game, which is imports are defined as anyone that is not a U.S. citizen.
Yep.
So we had this unreal kid from Latvia. He was like 16. He's unreal offensive defenseman. He's playing in the MHL right now, like the major league for Russia
Oh,
and all
wow.
that. So he was unreal. I wasn't probably not going to beat him out for that spot. And we had Nicky Noel. He was a solid PK guy, second line center. So he was good. We had I think 10 defensemen going in there. So it really wasn't looking the greatest for me. So I ended up asking for a trade to Gillette because I knew they needed a defenseman to put with Scoggins, and he was incredible too. He was 20 years old. I was 18 or 19 at the time, and I knew that I could kind of look up to him, and he'd give me some guidance. And yeah, so we had good success. He was the offense, and I was the kind of stay at home, let him do his thing, and be solid back there. So that was my job with him, and it turned out really well.
Yeah, that's awesome because I imagine like you said, you were able to, take advantage of more ice time and, you're not on that, winning team necessarily, but you got to take so much more away and learn more about the game, right?
Oh man, it was incredible. Me and Scoggins, I was PK. 1, he was PK 2, and then he was power play 1, I was power play 2. And honestly, him and I probably played 40 plus minutes a night. Simple.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so that gave me that experience of all that. Yeah.
So playing for these three teams, which team did you find was like, your closest, family, your brothers? Which one did you have that connection where you guys would do anything for each other?
Oh, with Gillette,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, so when I got there, we were, I think, like 10 points out of a playoff spot, and this was November. So they got off to a bit of a rough start there. And so I came in, and I feel like I made an impact on a lot of them because, for one, they realized that, anyone can be traded. They can bring guys in if you're not doing your part. So a lot of guys woke up from what I heard.
That's awesome.
And yeah. Yeah. And then we ended up making a playoff push, and we got in. We snuck in. We played against Yellowstone, and they're an unreal team.
Yeah, definitely. That whole
Yep.
area seems like it's been, pretty consistent and all that.
Yeah.
So what were you able to take away from junior hockey? Life lessons? Was it just, or just did you feel like you were able to just go out there, have some fun, and like teach yourself like the importance of, whatever you learned?
You know what? Like, any team sport can be taken into life. You learn accountability, being responsible. You learn how to be like a good teammate, a good person, right? And that leads into the workplace as well.
Exactly.
If you're on a crew with guys doing like construction or designing like websites or anything like that, like you need a good team with you. So you learn how to kind of, read people, how to respond and react to negative and positive situations, and what to do with the rest of your life. I guess it opens so many more doors than you could even explain.
Definitely. That's awesome to hear. So since your junior hockey's done, what can we expect from you? College or beer league hockey? What's gonna happen for hockey from here on out?
Yeah, well, I might be on the Beer League Rebound podcast, but I'm not rebounded a beer league yet
Not
there,
yet.
Bryce. So I still got a few years left in me. Playing college hockey next year for
Oh,
sure.
that's awesome.
I haven't really, told anyone where I'm going yet or anything, so I'm kind of keeping that on the down low now. But
Respect it.
yeah, I'm super excited for that.
That's so. Do you know like what program you're looking at taking when you're in college at all, or is that just going to be like an open studies? Go there and see how it goes.
I'm actually, you know what? I've been wanting to do sports psychology for a while. Through my knee injury and everything, and the experiences I've had, I feel I'd be pretty successful and knowledgeable in that kind of
Definitely.
career and all that. So that's something I was interested in, but I'm still kind of looking into other things currently. So I'm not 100% dead set on it.
Yeah, I think having like a sports career is like, that's obviously my ultimate goal. So if you're able to, because there's nothing better in my opinion than like going to a rink and then like learning people while still being at a hockey rink and all that. So that's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So mine is training for the summer. What else do you got kind of going on? Just, with college hockey kind of, works for you. How is that? How much of a challenge is that now with this whole COVID situation?
It's not too bad. I'm still waiting on Alberta Education to send my transcripts to the school, make sure I'm
Oh, yeah.
accepted. Yeah, so it's kind of hard getting documents and stuff sent, but it's not too bad. Like, I'm pretty excited to go to school. I know I'll be focused and everything, and
Yeah,
yeah, so it's not too bad. Just training is kind of, it kind of sucks to have the blades and make the best out of the little things you got instead of a full-fledged gym. But
well, that Isaac and I were talking about this in the previous episode, and we because his coach and him were talking about how whoever is willing to put in the work now throughout this quarantine, whatever they gotta do, they're the ones who are gonna come out on top compared to the ones who sat around, ripped Fortnite or COD all day and, didn't put in even a little bit of work. So the fact that you're still trying to make something work, even though it's not as comfortable as what you're used to, it's only going to benefit yourself more coming forward, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because you definitely there's that there's a lot of junior hockey guys and college guys that aren't really doing a ton right now.
Yep.
So it definitely gives you the advantage heading into everything, and once everything opens up, you're ready to go. You're already,
Exactly.
in condition to do something.
Keeping the legs healthy is like a big thing, I'd imagine, like during an off season. Like,
Oh yeah.
legs, cardio, everything like that. Just, so like you said, come that, September, you're ready to go. So that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll kind of talk about some not so important hockey stuff, but just some stuff for the people to get to know you. But have you been watching any Netflix series lately?
Man, I turned on the Chicago Bulls, the Last Dance, I think it's
Yes.
called. Man, was I ever
I
hooked
gotta
on
watch
that.
it still. I heard it's unreal.
Oh, dude. They drop 2 episodes a week. Just it's really cool looking at professional players and everything, especially back in the 80s.
Is
Really cool, 80s and
what
90s.
I've heard and what I've read online is Michael Jordan was he's kind of like a dick. Is that fair to say? Or because everyone respects him for what he's
I
done,
I
but
I completely disagree with that
yeah,
statement, and anyone can fight me on that. 100%. I think that's what a leader should be, right? You should be hard on people, and well, not hard on them, but
yeah,
constructive with your teammates. And I can see how many people who weren't really brought up with sports can see that
no,
for
definitely.
sure. But once you're in sports, you need you need a leader like that on every team you
And
have that holds you accountable for
there's a
your
reason
actions.
why he was, so good at what he did, right? Like it wasn't like it just fell in his lap. Like he clearly knew what he's doing. Kobe Bryant knew what he's doing. Like all those guys knew what they were doing. And so that's probably why people probably think they're dicks. But I mean, at the end of the day, these are the guys that came out on top, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you definitely need the competitive drive, and sometimes that it fuels you to the point where you might come across negative, but it comes from a good
Yeah,
place, right?
definitely. Yeah, that's one series like I've been meaning to like hop on it because I keep seeing it online and I'm trying not to read anything online. So I just got to sit down one day and finally pump it out.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll find time. There's nothing
Well,
but time right now, buddy.
I was thinking that, but now I'm back on a work grind next week. I got in earlier. I'm taking one spring class right now and I'm back and I'm doing my podcast. So I'm still keeping myself, even during quarantine, I'm still managing to keep myself very busy. So, yeah,
That's
it's
awesome,
nice.
buddy.
I feel like I, don't have to depend on stuff to keep myself busy, which, I feel like a lot of people are doing right now, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, besides Netflix and training, how's the NHL 20 career coming along?
Oh,
Chill.
Chow, man. Oh, buddy, we're playing some EASA Chow, and got the club into Div 1. I'm working with a couple other buddies now, trying to pull them up into Div 3, Div 2, Div
Uh,
1. So playing lots
So
of that right now.
I have just for anyone listening, I hardly play NHL 20. I'm horrible at it. Fun game, but I'm horrible. So what is EASHL?
So you basically make a team, you make a player, and all your buddies join the team, and then you just play against other people around the world, I guess, and you control the
And
one
you like
guy,
work your way up in
and it goes up.
divisions?
Yep, start at Div 10, and your Div 1 is the highest.
Holy. So just grinding on that right now,
Yeah,
hey?
a little bit,
Here and
yeah,
there.
here and there.
Only so much training in a day
Yeah.
though, hey?
Oh
So is
yeah.
it like just you and like Smiley going out on the blades or do you got like anyone else?
Nope, we got a couple other people. We got Doobie.
Nice.
I think Malnick's gonna make an appearance. We got a couple of our buddies from Calgary
Melnick's making an appearance.
as well coming out with us. Yeah, the ghost
Yeah, I
himself,
haven't seen him in
Casper.
forever.
Yeah, so we're just we go to the outdoor rink. We found one that has, nice smooth concrete on it. We'll go for a little blade, all while maintaining social
And
distancing, of course. Gotta be
exactly.
essential.
Well, I saw you guys kind of went and
Yeah.
went blading around downtown. That must have been like pretty fun, just because of how was it pretty dead when you guys were there, or?
Oh yeah, there's hardly a
Yeah,
soul
see, I think
there.
that'd be kind of fun. Usually
Yeah.
a jam-packed area, just kind of going around the city. That'd be pretty interesting.
Man, it's kind of eerie. It's like apocalyptic
Yeah,
almost.
I went driving through downtown like a couple days ago, just out on a quarantine cruise, and I was like, it felt weird because I was like, it was a Saturday, and if anyone's from Calgary knows Calgary, downtown on a Saturday night is like, it's busy, and I was able to
Bumping.
drive through, no problem. It was it gave me that weird feeling, like just uncertainty, I guess. I don't know, but it was weird.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely eerie.
Alrighty, well, this has been great there, Josh. I'd like to thank you for coming on and, talking about your junior career and everything else. It was really nice to, talk to someone who's, done that uphill battle through junior career. And it looks like it's paying off for you because you're going to go play some college hockey now. So that's awesome.
Yes, for sure. I'm truly excited, and I'm really happy you had me on here. It's nice.
Yeah, it
talking
was nice
to you,
talking to you as well. Hopefully once this, the dirt kind of settles a little more, we'll all be able to, social distance, hang out, or, figure something out. Maybe I'll come watch you guys tear it up at the ODR one day or something like that.
Oh, buddy, you can strap on the pads and we'll rifle cross ice.
Yeah, I gotta actually
pucks at ya.
for my beer league self, even I'm personally like, goddamn, I gotta do something because I'm gonna be horrible when I go back in. And my teammates already depend on me enough, so it's gonna be a grind going back in for beer league.
Guy's body is just looking like a milk bag.
Oh,
right now,
I've luckily still have a home gym, so I've been working out every day. I have this Nike training app, and it's been kicking my ass lately. So yeah, it's I do a bunch of endurance stuff on it, so it's awesome. But it makes me sweat like a pig. It's gross, but it's good. Yeah. So thanks for coming on, Josh. It's great talking to you, and best luck with the rest of your hockey career there, bud.
Thanks, Bryce.
All right, talk later,
buddy.
Just want to give a big shout out again to Josh for coming on the podcast, giving a great interview. He brought a lot of good energy, good insight, and I can't thank him enough for coming on. It's always nice to have friends and everyone reach out who's involved in hockey in some way, want to come on the show. As I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of good interviews lined up. I'm very excited about a couple of them. I think it's really gonna help bring more light towards the podcast, bring more light towards hockey and everything else. So look forward to that. We have some exciting stuff happening with Beer League Rebound. So as I didn't do a top 5 from last week, the reason being is I'm really trying to focus on these interviews, and I felt like I was able to focus more on Josh's interview, get some really good dialed questions instead of focusing on the top 5. Let me know if you want me to bring back another top 5. I might add them in here and there. Just have to see how everything goes, but it's a lot of fun to do. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, so we'll go with that. So shout out again to Josh. That's gonna wrap up this episode of Beer League Rebound. Thank you again for everyone for staying tuned, listening, sharing this, showing it to whoever you. It's I keep talking about it every episode, but it gives me a great feeling, and I have a lot of fun doing this. And like the NHL is getting very exciting. Hockey's getting very exciting, as in the fact that it might be happening. And if it's happening, then come like this summer, these podcast episodes are going to be filled with some really, really good hockey content to talk about. So I'm looking forward to that if it obviously happens. Like I said, this is all, I keep stressing this, but this is if everything goes as planned, and we'll leave it at that. But thank you again for listening. Make sure you follow all my social media pages. That's where I give little sneak peeks of like who will be coming on to my interview. I usually show like a team or something like that, or like a part of a team logo, and I always like it if you guys are able to guess. So I'll be doing the same for the next couple of interviews that are coming on. So make sure you follow my pages so you can have fun with everyone else guessing and or being my friends, a couple hooligans. They are making up crazy interviews that will hopefully will happen one day, but as of right now will not happen at all. But it's fun and it gives me something to laugh at. So if you want to be part of that, by all means go for it. Thank you again for listening, and I'll talk to you guys later.